Hi everyone, Richard Robbins here. Well, the numbers for November are in. And yes, I'm a little late, I understand that. But here's why. I was away, but also I want to make some predictions on 2018, so I was doing some work. So here's what we're going to do in this video. This video is going to be about the Toronto Real Estate Board. I'm going to create another video that we're also going to send out that's going to talk about right across Canada what's going on. Reason I'm spending some time in Toronto, we had the home buyers tax in April, so our market's been affected, and it's probably the one that is changing the most at this point. It's going to balance out a little next year, but I'll talk about that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about what happened in November in 17 opposed to 16. I'm going to look at months of inventory for the whole year up until the end of November. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two micro markets, and then I'm going to give you my predictions for 2018. So first of all, let's have a look. So here's your November 17 sales. You had 7,374 on the Toronto Real Estate Board. Okay, that's all of the numbers. You can see our sales for 2016 were much better, but again, that's because we had the home buyer tax went in April. You can see active listings are up substantially. They're up 110%. Now, I'm going to have some good news for you. I know you're going, you got to be kidding me, right? You can see what's going on. We've got our average sale price that dumped by about 2%, and our days on market is climbing. But again, months of inventory, the only number that I really care about when it comes to what's happening in the real estate market. So a balanced market is 5 to 6 months of inventory. So you can see we had a market here that was completely out of control. Prices going up by 20, 25% a year. Now we've got a little bit of a more balanced market, but we still have a very good market, but I will explain more about that as we start to move forward. So here, let's have a look at the whole year, okay? So if we just look at the last few months, your sales in July were 5,900, August 6,300, 6,300, okay? October 7,100 went up, and November 7,300. So you can see, our sales started to climb right here again, and if you look at our inventory, you can see it started to climb a little bit, but now it's going down. So look what happens with months of inventory. Before the home buyer tax, 1 month, less than 1 month, less than 1 month. Home buyer tax, 1.1. Then it started to climb, 1.8, 2.5, 3.1, 2.6, 3.0. And look at 2.6, and now it's down to 2.5. So it's dropping a little bit, which, by the way, this is a very good market to be working in. But let's have a look at some micro markets. So if I look at the GTA micro market breakdown by region. Now, this is really important for you to understand, depending on the market you work in. Because let's face it, Greater Toronto area is a very large area. So if we take the Toronto Real Estate Board numbers, okay, 7,300 sales, 18,000 active listings, divide this number into that, gives us 2.5 months of inventory. But what about the City of Toronto? Look at this. You can see only 1.8 months of inventory. So the City of Toronto is a much stronger market than all of the GTA. Let's go to Durham region. You look at Durham region, they have 2 months of inventory, very strong market out towards obviously Oshawa. Then we got Peel, 2.2 months, Halton, 2.5, and York region is 4.6. Now what's interesting, if you look at York region, you say, well, Aurora falls into York region. Well, they're up around 6 months of inventory, okay? Then you look at Markham, well, they're below 4.6 months of inventory. So even inside York region, you're going to have all of these micro markets. So here's my advice to you. If you're selling in a certain region, then what you want to do when you're figuring out these numbers to talk about what's happening in the marketplace, what I'm going to suggest you do is you break it down to a very small geographical area so you know what is happening in the marketplace you're working in. Let's look at another one. So this is a GTA micro market breakdown of property type. So a bit of a different number. So again, here's your TREB numbers. I've shown you that already. But let's look at detached. If we look at detached, right, you can see we've got 3.4 months of inventory. So our detached market, okay, is higher than the average in the Toronto Real Estate Board. So you can see what's going on here. Look at semi, 1.8, condo townhouses, 1.8, condo apartments, 1.6. Now, why is this happening? Well, obviously Toronto and Vancouver, they have very expensive marketplaces. So most people can't afford detached homes. So what are they doing? They're buying semis, condo townhouses, and condo apartments. So that means we have less inventory, which means we have more of a seller's market when it comes to, say, condo apartments, okay, and semi-detached and condo townhouses. And that's probably going to be very common as you move into 2018. So, in terms of predictions, what is my prediction for 2018? Well, we know that we have a new stress test that is taking place on conventional mortgages in January. Well, that's going to probably slow the market down just a little bit for probably the first 90 days. And I would suspect because of the stress testing, this is one of the reasons that we're probably a little more active in November, because people are saying, I better get out and buy right now, which will probably make December maybe a more active month than we would expect for the month of December. But if we go back to the predictions, we're going to have that happen. We're also going to have probably rates bump up a couple times in 2018. So here's what I think we're going to be faced with. We're going to be faced with more of this right here. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see our market in the Toronto area is going to be operating somewhere between, say, 2.2 and about 3.2 months of inventory for the whole year. It'll bounce around a little bit, which, by the way, is still a very good market. It's more of a balanced market than 1 month of inventory. Now, are we going to do less sales, say, in 2018 than maybe we did in 2017? Because January, February, March, April were very good months before, obviously, the home buyer tax. So I would suggest that sales might be a little off from what they were in 2017. Now, sales were way off in 2017 from what they were in 2016. So I got another prediction for you. We're going to see some real estate agents get out of the business in 2018. Our membership will probably start to drop. But I don't think our membership is going to drop as much as, say, sales have dropped between 2016 and 17 and 18. So here's my suggestion to you. You need to work on your skills. Because, see, if you go back and you look at the market we had in 2016, and I think everybody said, well, boy, maybe it'll return to that. I don't think so. I really don't. We're going to have more of a balanced market, which means you need to develop your skills. Let's face it. In a market like this right now, buyers are not self-motivated. When there was multiple offers, you didn't have to motivate a buyer. They were self-motivated. They knew when a listing came up, they had to get out there and they had to get on it now. Now, maybe in the condo market right now, it's still a little bit like that, which means you got to be able to sit down and you got to be able to counsel buyers. Why should they be buying now? Obviously, if rates are going to go up next year, probably a good time to buy, right? Because you want to lock in at a lower rate. Same thing with sellers. Depending on whether you're talking about detached, okay, you're talking with semis, townhouses, you got to make sure you're pricing your homes right, because if you have a home that is, say, over $2 million in Toronto right now, well, guess what? There's going to be quite a bit of inventory there, which means you got to be sharp on your pricing. So understand that you need to start changing your conversations with buyers, changing your conversation with sellers, and understand the market. Understand what is going on in the market that those people want to buy in or they want to sell in. You need to have this type of information, because now you're going to have valuable conversations with them where you have explained something to them that they did not understand before, and now what do? They see value in you. So thank you for watching this. I wish everybody a wonderful holiday, and most importantly, I hope you all have a great 2018. And remember, everybody, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.